So today's topic, we are going to discuss about input-output streams in Java. So why we have to discuss input-output streams? Let us see that one. So input-output streams are responsible for taking the data into the program or sending the data into the program and receiving, or else we can say that giving data to the program and we are getting some output from it. So whatever data we are sending to the program, that should be in the form of streams. So streams will carry the data from one place to the other place. So let us see what exactly streams will contain. What sort of streams are needed to carry the data? As I said, a stream represents flow of data from one place to the another place. Basically, there are two types of streams that are input streams and output streams. So input streams are supposed to carry the data or send the data to particular resource. Output stream is responsible for writing or accepting data from the input streams. So what exactly input streams are? Nothing but which receives or reads data coming from a resource or some other place. Similarly, output stream which sends the data or writes the data to some other place. Here, input streams will take input through the keyboard. Whatever inputs we are giving to the program, they are through the keyboard into the program, which is similar to scanf functionality of C programming, which accepts inputs. Similarly, here input stream will accept input from the particular device called as input devices. Input streams will receive data from the input sources or input devices. For example, according to this, input devices are nothing but here keyboard. Now coming to the output streams, which will send the data which is received through the input streams. They will be sending the data through the output streams onto the devices output sources like monitors. Some other devices are nothing but here devices or monitors. And one more thing here, important point, that is all streams in Java are represented by classes which are part of java.io package. You have to remember this point. That is all the streams, they will be represented in the form of classes, and they are part of a package called java.io package. That is IO stands for input output. So it contains all the classes which are related to the streams. So next, let us see. As I said, keyboard is one kind of an input device which sends the data, through the input stream, and it will be received by the output stream, and output stream will send the data to the output devices. So keyboard is represented according to the Java through in type of a field, in kind of a variable, which is part of the system class. So we use a keyboard to represent a keyboard. We use system.in as a standard input device. As we are noting here, standard input device will be denoted using system.in. So this system class, which will be part of the java.lang package, also contains the other fields like out err. System class contains fields like in, out, err. These are the special fields which are available in the system class, which is part of lang package. So we will see what is system.in, system.out, system.err. So as we know, system.en, that is system.in will represent input stream object. It is nothing but it will be a representation of an object which is related to the input stream. Similarly, here system.out will represent a print stream object. It is a output stream object. Print stream is nothing but output stream object. So system.out will represent one object that will be the object of print stream class. That is what it is mentioned here. Represent system.out represents print stream class object. Next, system.err also represents print stream class object. But see here, out and err are representing objects of same class, that is print stream class. Then what is the difference between them? So system.out will represent, or system.out will be used to display normal contents onto the screen or output devices. But according to the system.err, it will display the error messages which are part of the program. Let us say that manually, if you want to display some error messages through the program onto the screen to the user, then we will use system.err. So system.err is a special object representation to display error messages onto the screen, which is representing an object of print stream class. Next, let us see how we are going to accept in data from the keyboard. Until now, we didn't discuss a program which is accepting input values from the user at the runtime. So now we have a requirement. We are coming across a requirement that a user has to enter some value. Based on that value, the program has to process and show them some result. So for that, in Java, there is a special functionality will be there, that is accepting input from the keyboard. To accept input from the keyboard, first of all, we need to connect some resources together so that we can accept data. First of all, system.in is, as we said, it is representing an input device called as keyboard. So that keyboard will be attached to or connected to input stream reader, input stream object. I think everyone is able to understand this one. That is, first of all, we need to connect a keyboard. Why keyboard? Because we are giving input data which is given by the keyboard, that will be connected to input stream object, so that input stream will receive data from the keyboard. So for that, you see here, connect the keyboard to an input stream object by using input stream reader class. See, try to observe this class, that is input stream reader class is used, input stream reader class is used to receive data from the keyboard. Can read, see, you can see here input stream reader class that can read data from the keyboard. Keyboard is nothing but system.in, that will be connected to input stream reader class, and that will be stored into the object called as ISR. So now input stream reader object will contain a keyboard object, that is input stream object. So this is the first step to accept input from the keyboard, that is first keyboard will be connected to the input stream reader class. Next we have to connect this input stream reader to the buffered reader. Now buffered reader is also a stream class which is supposed to accept data coming from the input stream. Buffered reader is also, one second, what happened, Ashwini? Ashwini?
So,
Tell me, what is your doubt?
It's my problem, sir. Some disturbance, voice
Oh,
problem.
okay, okay, okay. I think you raised the
Now
hand.
it is clear, sir. Yes,
Okay, okay.
sir.
Got it.
Now it is clear, sir.
Okay, okay. Nice. So, first step of connecting the keyboard to that is to accept input from the keyboard. First of all, we need to connect the keyboard to the input stream, then from input stream to the buffered reader. So the specialty of the buffered reader to accept the data properly, which is coming from the input stream reader class object. So here to try to observe here, connect input stream reader to the buffered reader, which is another type of a stream. It has got methods to read data properly coming from the stream. So buffered reader BR equals to new buffered reader. Actually here not OBJ. It should be ISR. Input stream reader object should be passed as a parameter to the buffered reader object BR. Now buffered reader object BR will contain the sources like input device and a stream, input stream. So through BR, through buffered reader class objects, we can access the data. So next slide, in the next slide. So first two steps which we have discussed right now, that is adding keyboard to the input stream reader and again input stream reader to the buffer reader will be rewritten as something like this. That is buffered reader BR equals to new buffered reader of new input stream reader of system.in followed by semicolon. So this is needed for accepting input from the keyboard. Let us say that if you are writing a program to accept input from the keyboard, that is, if your program wants to accept data from the user, this must be included into your program. That is buffer reader BR equals to new buffer reader of new input stream reader of system.in. So in pictorial representation of this will be something like this. That is keyboard. First of all, keyboard will be attached. Keyboard is represented, that is system.in is represented as keyboard. That will be attached to input stream reader. Through input stream reader, buffer reader will read the data properly and it will sense the data and it will access the data. First of all, data coming from the keyboard that will be received by input stream and it will be carried properly through buffered reader. So this is how we are able to accept input from the keyboard, the process of accepting input from the keyboard. Now let us see one by one, that is to accept different types of data. Let us say that we have character data, integer data, string type of data, float type of data, double type of data. These are different types of data. To accept them, what is the process? Let us see. First of all, we will try to see a single character from the keyboard, accepting single character from the keyboard. So you have to follow these steps to accept single character from the keyboard. First of all, create buffer reader class object. That is the steps which I've just discussed. You have to write all those things. And after that, use read method. Read method. The read method is part of buffered reader class. Read method is part of buffered reader class, which is responsible for reading the single character from the keyboard. So char ch equals to br.read method will be used. So what happens here is, this is a default method which is available in the buffered reader class. So this method returns an ASCII number. Try to understand this. Read method is accepting a character, either it is a single digit or any kind of a character, but it returns a number, ASCII number, which is of type integer. Let us say that if I want to give a value as yes, yes as a character, yes as an input, okay, ch to initialize ch to s value. So what happens here is I'm giving s, but what it is returning? It is returning the ASCII number of that value. S ASCII number will be there, some XYZ, that is, let us say that 10. S contains an ASCII number 10. So I don't want 10, I want S. So I want the character which has been given as input to be represented as same, not as in other form. I don't want it to be in the integer form or the other form. I want character in character, integer in integer, or float in float, double in double. So, but the speciality of read method is to read only single character, we will use this one. But it is returning an ASCII number which is of type integer. So what we have to do, we need to typecast it. It is compulsory to do that one. So read method, for read method, we are supposed to convert the type of data, compulsory, it is required. So typecasting is required to convert integer into character. For that, this is the process. That is char ch equals to char of br.read method. So whatever data which is supplied at runtime, either it is in the form of character or integer, whatever it may be, which type of data, that data will be converted to char, because we are accepting characters here, character type. So the data should be in the form of characters, not in the form of integers. For that purpose, we are typecasting it. This is what we have to do while we are accepting single character from the keyboard. So next, let us see one more point regarding read method. That is, read method raises IO exception. Now exceptions are special kind of errors that will be found at the runtime. Okay, that will be found at the runtime only. And the exceptions which is raised by the read method is because of memory usage. Let us say that it does not have enough memory or sufficient memory to access or to read data. So at that point of time, this read method will raise an IO exception while accepting data. So the programmer's responsibility is that make sure that to handle these exceptions. So handling exceptions are nothing but exception handling. We will discuss this topic in the coming classes. But the programmer responsibility is try to handle the exceptions. At this point of time, you don't know how to handle them. Simply use throws keyword, THROWS. So throws keyword is used, throws IO exception is used beside the main method. So what happens if you use such kind of a signature there? If you use such kind of a signature, the exception will not be handled. It is simply thrown out of the program. It cannot be handled. Okay, it will not handle, the program will not handle the exception, because at this point we are not sure how to handle them. For that simplicity, we are using throws keyword, which is used for handling exceptions, that is to throw the exception out of the program. Next, coming to string from the keyboard. So the steps to be followed to accept string from the keyboard are, first of all, you will be creating BufferedReader class by using all the signatures like system.in will be attached to InputStreamReader, InputStreamReader will be attached to BufferedReader. This will be done at the first step. Next, second step, you will be accepting the string from the keyboard using read line method, which is part of the buffer reader class. In the first case, we are using read method, which is part of buffer reader class. Now in this case, we are using read line method. So read line method is a special method which will be receiving the data in the form of strings only. Only strings. If you want to accept strings, let us say that if you want to accept name, college name, such kind of a thing, you directly use it. There is no typecasting is required here because it is returning in the form of string itself because readline method is accepting string and it is also returning string. There is no typecasting is required for this method. But according to read method, we need typecasting. Now you can see here readline method returns a string. It can raise runtime exception. This method also raises an exception. So how to handle that exception? You just simply use throws IO exception beside the main method. Okay. So this is all about accepting strings from the keyboard. So I will show you the program. Don't worry. If we have enough time, then I will be discussing one program regarding that one. So next, accepting integers. Try to see here. To accept integers, the steps will be the same. You start the first step, creating a buffer reader class object. That is common to everything. But whereas accepting integers, that is we want integer, but what is happening here? We are using string str equals to br.readline method. But we want integers. Let us say that br.readline, when it is asking the user to enter a value, you will be entering an integer value. Let us say that 20 is a value which is supplied at the runtime, which is stored in str. See, what we are intended for integers, but what is it in the form of strings? Integers is in the form of strings, but we need strings to be converted to integer. Here we need to convert integer value, that is 20, which is in the form of string, that should be converted into the integer by parsing. Try to understand here. Parsing is one kind of a method which is used for converting the data of particular type into other type. So here now str in the third step, to accept integer from the keyboard, in the third step it is mentioned as str contains a number in the form of a string. So we have to convert the string into integer. To do so, what we have to do? Integer n equals to integer dot parse int of str. So str contains a string related form of integer data that will be converted into integer by using a parseInt method of integer class. This is integer class. This is a parseInt method which is part of integer class, which will convert the string which contains an integer data 20, and converted data will be stored into a normal integer data type. I think everyone understood with this. So you can observe that is string str dot equals to br dot readline and integer n equals to br dot readline will be combined and written as integer n equals to integer dot parseInt of br dot readline directly. Similarly, float and double also follows the same. Let us say that if you want to accept a float value, the same signature will be used, but here you will be changing the data types. Here float will be there, and here float will be there, and here parse float will be there. Okay. I think everyone understood with this. Let me show you through program, sample program. which is accepting different types of inputs, either in the form of integers or strings or characters. Let me stop this share and then I will start one more screen. I think everyone able to see this document. So first of all, to access input output streams, the package which has to be included is import java.io. This must be compulsory included for input output operations. I will use one and you try to see here. I'm writing throws IOE capital throws IO exception because we are trying to access read or read line method in our program. So first of all, what we have to do, first we need to create a buffer reader class object. For that, we use buffered reader br equals to new buffered reader of new input stream reader of system dot in. So this line must be included for every program which we create here. Okay, let us say that to accept integer, let us say that to accept integer, let us try one thing here. This is a program to demonstrate integer. Okay, system dot out dot print ln or print whatever it may be. So here we will try to ask the user to enter a value okay, value which is in the form of integers. Okay, we are giving we are asking the user to enter the value in the form of integer. So after that we are accepting the value in the form of integer int num equals to integer dot parse int of br dot read line. After that I am trying to display this one, system dot out dot print ln you entered a number. Okay, number. Let me close this program. Okay, so this is how we are trying to ask the user to enter the integer value. We save it as store under Java programs. Yeah, I saved it. We'll try to compile this one. We'll open the command prompt. So what will happen here? We'll go to the E drive. Sorry. CD. Java C accept.java. It is asking one error. It is one sort of error. I didn't keep semicolon over here. Save it once again. And what will happen? I will compile it once again. So there is one kind of input stream. There is one more error regarding the name of the class. So let me see here. What is this? Accept input stream reader. Okay. Save. And after that, let me compile this once again. Okay, it is compiled. Let me clear the screen. I will compile it freshly. Okay. Let me run this program. Okay. So it is asking the input. So until now we didn't see such kind of a programming here. Now we are able to enter 52 as a value. If I press enter, what will happen? It will display you entered 52, greeting with some kind of a message to us. So this is what happens with the values which are supplied in the form of strings that will be converted into integers in the proper manner. This is what we have discussed today. If you want the same thing, let us say that if you want other type of a data to be compiled, that is, let us say that I will use the same thing. I will change here, not integer. Let me change this one. Let me use float. So what we have to do here, again, I have and again here also FLOAT. So if you want to accept float values, you will be changing such kind of a things. And I will try to save it once again. If you want to compile it once again, you go to the command prompt. So this program is demonstrating float value. Java C accept.java. So compiled it and again accept. So I'm giving 12.568. So that is the value which is entered, that is 12.568. I think everyone understood with this one. So this is the end of the first unit. So almost the notes is available through the videos as well as PPTs, which I have sent to you. If you want the remaining notes also, I will send in the form of videos as well as PPTs. So you go through them, try to understand the unit because internals are coming on. So maybe in the next week, that is November, we have internals. So for that purpose, try to read the contents read the videos or watch the videos. If you have any doubts, please text me, or you can raise the questions also in the class. I will answer all those questions. So this is all for today. Thank you one and all.